Hello. Today I wanted to talk about what it's like being someone who dances but also someone who menstruates. Disclaimer, I say the word weirdly, menstruates, so just know what I'm getting at when I'm saying that. I'm not very good at saying it. I have loads and loads and loads of trouble with menstrual pain. And it affects my work a lot. Since learning more about my cycle, I've been able to not manage the pain better, but manage the pain not interrupting work, because capitalist world, don't let anything interrupt your work. But um I lost my train of thought. I have been able to kind of be aware of when my cycle is, and then try and keep an eye on it, so I'm not booking like big jobs on like an incredibly painful day. But in a nutshell, I guess, for me, just on like a pain level, I get excruciating pain, where I have to, like, I've got a little routine. It's the same every time. It's been differing a little bit recently, but it's usually this. I wake up really confused and I'm losing my head. I'm so confused. And I'm like, what's wrong? Sometimes I might be feeling like calm enough to go and like read a book or play the Switch or like watch a bit of telly or make breakfast, and I'm like, I'm confused, but I'm like, this is fine, like I'm gonna have a good day. And then the pain will start. So I'll go to the bathroom, and eventually I'll go on the toilet, and then I will not fall off the toilet, but like essentially it would just be like, cannot sit up anymore. So I end up on the floor, and there I remain for depends on what time it is. If it's before Joe is awake, could be there for a couple of hours. If he's awake, I'm because I don't want to inconvenience anyone with my troubles. If it's after he's awake, I'll be there for a little while, and then I'll manage to get back in bed and he can look after me. I've got this weird thing where I can only take painkillers with juice or anything except water. So I can't take it with tea, can't take it with water. It can only be juice or like a Pepsi, because that's what my mum used to give me, like when I was really poorly, kind of late teens. And so normally, like when I lived with my parents, I'd put in the group chat juice, tablets, and then just outside the bathroom door, there'd be some juice and tablets. And then I'd take them, literally be in such incredible pain. Sometimes I used to hum, and then my mum, before she realised that's what she was doing, that's what I was doing, she'd text me and be like, what's wrong? Like, why are you humming? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just, like I'm trying to get the vibrations of the humming to not subsidize, but like calm down the pain. So I'll be like, just like rolling around in the most terrible pain. And it's awful. It's awful. I can't walk. I crawl. And then I get into bed. And I'm usually like, I'm swaying between hot and cold. So I usually take all my clothes off, and then have to put them back on because I'm cold. Usually try and ask someone to get me a hot water bottle or a wheat bag. And then I'm just like fluctuating between hot and cold, and then I fall asleep, and I could wake up 10 minutes later, or I could wake up 3 hours later, and the pain is gone. And it's the most ludicrous thing ever. Like, I'm still a bit tentative, sensitive, confused, emotional, but the pain is gone. Sometimes it stays a little while longer, but not in its intensity, just like a gentle, like, I'm still here, don't forget about me. So it's really wild. So this kind of little routine's been going on for years, and I've been through many different types of contraception. But the sad thing is I was going on contraception for period pain. I didn't need contraception. I was going to the doctors with terrible periods, and all I was getting offered was contraception, and I didn't need contraception. The contraception's side effect was maybe your periods will stop. And so I was just, banking on a side effect possibly working for my situation, which is ridiculous. And well, a couple of things for like the full backstory that you didn't ask for is what have I had? So I've had various different pills, but don't ask me what they were. Ones where you skip a day, ones where you don't skip a day. Not super useful for someone with, at the time, undiagnosed ADHD. Absolutely no way I'm remembering to take pills. I had the implant, and then I started my period, and I did not stop bleeding. And then I was like, oh, maybe we should take the implant out. So they took the implant out and then gave me the injection. Carried on bleeding. How long was it? I think I bled for 9 months straight. And I've told a couple of people and they were like, oh my God, that's wild. And I've told a couple of different people and they're like, yeah, same thing happened to me. And I'm like, are you serious? That's not normal. That's really not normal. But I guess there were forms of contraception and I wasn't using them as contraception. I was using them as period relief. But even if I was using them as contraception, I shouldn't have to bleed for 9 months. So anyway, that's my tumultuous journey with contraception. And fast forward. January 2021. Remember, like, where we are kind of in the UK. We've been in a lockdown. We've been quite a few lockdowns, and the schools are about to open for a day, and then like, oh, we got to close them again. So I was not working. Me and my bestie Holly. I don't even know how we came onto it, but we heard about this book called Period Power by Maisie Hill. And she ordered it, the paperback, to her house, and I just needed it then and there. So I bought it on Kobo and started reading it. And when I tell you it changed our lives, I'm not exaggerating. Like, my life has not been the same since I read that book. Not one single aspect. The only similarity is that I'm still a dancer. Pretty much everything has changed. So the thing that stuck with me, and I'm going to explain it, assuming you don't know, what we got from it is she explained about splitting your menstrual cycle into seasons. Now I'm going to butcher this. I really should have got a diagram up so I could say it. Anyway, I'll do my best. Imagine splitting your cycle into spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Winter is when you're on your period, when you're bleeding. You then move into spring as you're coming off your period. Summer is when you're ovulating, and autumn is when you're winding down and getting ready to bleed again. So, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, yeah, and so the reason those seasons are kind of like that is it's to do, I think, with hormone patterns and which hormone is rising and which hormone is plummeting and where they are within your cycle. And obviously it differs from person to person, but there's similarities within a, you know, between like a 26 and a 34 day cycle. I'm just pulling numbers out of me here. So it came with things like, oh, in summer when you're ovulating, there's a huge for people that menstruate, a huge spike of testosterone. So that's when you're super confident. And the advice in the book was like, plan your big meetings, plan your like devising, like, you know, for me it's like when I'm writing my show, like when I started writing my show, and I started telling you guys about it, I was 100% ovulating. That's when I started the podcast. I was on it. It was kind of like spring to summer, super not like overly confident, but like happy, chatty, friendly, ideas spilling out of me, creative, just feeling so good about myself, feeling like I'm going to make a show and I'm such a fantastic dancer and it's going to be amazing. And then I stopped working on the show. But I'm not properly, but like I was like, I can't think about that right now. And then I was like, oh, I must be coming into autumn. So, and it's when and autumn is when you're coming onto your period pretty soon. Could be a week, could be a few days. For me, it was about a week. It was hard to tell this particular cycle right now, as of today of recording, I'm referring to. Lots of personal things were going on that made it difficult to pinpoint, am I feeling this way because of things that are going on in my life, or am I feeling this way because of hormones going, you know? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so you would think possibly autumn is when you're like, when you're like that stereotypical moody, you're like, you know, everyone's like, oh, she's on a period or she's coming on a period, don't talk to her, blah blah blah, you know, all the things that women and people who menstruate get like stick for. Really, it's not our fault. And it's when I was losing focus, I couldn't sit in an office, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, blah blah blah. But what I did do is me and Joe made a vlog, and the next day I was like, I'm going to edit it. And then I edited it within an hour. And I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Couldn't tell you anything else about my show. Couldn't tell you the song choices. Couldn't tell you the costumes. Oh my God, stop talking to me. I can't deal with it. But edit a whole video. Yeah, sorted. Boss. And afterward I was like, oh, I must be in autumn, because what I'm led to believe is, and what I can see from personal experience, is autumn, that period before your period, is for, what's it called, editing. And you get quite, I can't think of the word, like not insular, like internal, and well, this is how it could present in you perhaps. You want to be kind of like on your own, just maybe like if you're a copywriter, just like, you know, grammar checking a document. You're not actually making the document, that would require like too much energy, but like the document's already there, you can just like go through it, just really focus on like grammar checking it and editing and things like that, like me just editing the video, just dragging and dropping all the things into place. And yeah, I'm not explaining it super well, but like they're the kind of things that come with the cycle. What else I missed? Like winter. God, I should just Google this. So just like talk amongst yourselves while I Google this. Okay, menstrual cycle seasons. Okay. Okay, this looks like a good website. I'm just going to read it out. Nature's Best. Please don't try to sell me anything. Okay, accept cookies. Mapping your menstrual cycle like the seasons in the year. Winter, menstruation. Spring, follicular phase. Summer, ovulatory phase. And autumn, luteal phase. Hopefully I said this right. Can be incredibly empowering. It can help you understand the subtle or not so subtle shifts in your mood and energy levels and tune into requests from your body. What does it say? Okay, winter marks the start of your menstrual cycle around around days 1 to 5. Progesterone and estrogen, your reproductive hormones, are at their lowest, leading to menstrual fatigue and a general feeling of meh. Relatable? Relatable. It says, try this. Hibernation season calls for early nights, gentle exercise, hello restorative yoga, and a totally free social calendar, which I totally get. Okay, then it goes, time for menstrual cycle spring clean, pre-ovulation follicular phase, around days 6 to 11. Finally, you can emerge from your winter cave with extra buoyancy and lightness in your step. And as in spring, when the flowers start to bud, estrogen rises in the lead up to ovulation. You may notice that the world looks brighter, you may feel energetic and full of hope. Life feels good again. Try this, catch up with friends, brainstorm creative ideas. Sorry, I'm reading this out loud. Probably use a different word for brainstorm. And plan new products. Products? Yes, products. Projects. Schedule some light exercise if you feel up to it. Summer of menstrual cycle. Summer welcomes ovulation. Say hello to your sunnier, sprightlier self. And because I'm literally in winter right now, I'm like, I can't think of anything worse than that. This season sees estrogen. Oh, I'm pretty sure testosterone peaks as well. But maybe I've made that up. Anyway, this season sees estrogen peaking as you ovulate, so you'll be looking and feeling your best. Glowing skin, high libido, and abounding competence. Now is the time to capitalize on your buzzing energy, increased motivation, and effervescent mood. Schedule an intense workout session, or couldn't be me, work presentation, networking, or big social events. You may also want to make the most of your high libido and plan some romantic dates. I couldn't think of anything worse right now. That's where I am. Basically. Like, I'm in the depths of winter. And I started this little episode saying I was going to talk about it in relation to dance, which I will do now. Now I've kind of given you the background. So there's been lots of times where my period has affected dance and my work. There's been 3 in particular, and one of them today. And honestly, it made me so embarrassed every time. There's been 1 or 2 times, separate to those 3, where I've just had to call in sick. I can't do it. I can't get in. And that affected it fine. And you know how I said, like, I'll have the pain, I'll sleep and wake up and it'll be okay. That's fine if I've got an appointment at like 2, and if the pain hits me at 5 a.m, that's fine. But if I've got to be out the door at 9 or 10 and the pain is hitting me, it's just not gonna work. So I think the first time it affected me, like, professionally, like after college, because, you know, college is whatever. Episode on that coming soon. I got the train to, where's that place? Kent. And the director picked me up, and we were doing this outdoor music video. And we arrived, and I was thinking, I don't feel so good. And we were just getting Kit out the car, and I was going lightheaded, and I was getting a bit confused, you know. And I was like, I'm not sure what's happening here. Anyway, luckily, as I later found out, the director was also a doctor, but was a man. So I did feel a sense of, oh no, I'm gonna have to explain. Because it's not just, oh, my period's coming, just need to, like, go to the bathroom, la la la, it's fine. Like, very soon, I'm not gonna be able to move. We were outside in this park. I don't remember the whole exchange, but I remember lying on a bench under his coat, and the star of the music video, the artist, was lying under her coat. She was stroking my hair. I'd never met these people before. In this in this park in Kent, and I was being paid to be there, to be in this music video, and I was just lying on a bench under their coats being stroked by them. And it was wild. I mean, I don't know if humiliating is the right word, but like, I was embarrassed that I'd been like booked to do this job, and I couldn't do this job, not because I was ill, but because I was, quotation marks, on my period. And I think there's so much stick that people who menstruate get for, becoming this raging monster, and everyone's like, oh, be careful of her, she's on her period, or they're on their period, or whatever. And and it's like a joke. And I had to stop the shooting day, like the whole day, while I lied on a bench and cried with two strangers. Like that, for something that I've been told for years is a trivial thing. So that was pretty embarrassing. But they were really kind and friendly. They got it. I eventually let the pain pass. And I managed to dance, and actually the music video was one of my favourite music videos ever. It was beautiful. And I got over it fine. Another time I was booked to do a samba gig in, what would be like Cambridge, Roxford or something, and I was getting the train into London, and then I was going to meet the woman, the other dancer, at the train station. And the train from, I guess it would have been in Ipswich to London, I was curled up on my seat, crying in pain, thinking, my number one thing that I was thinking whilst crying in pain was, oh God, there's other passengers on this train. What are they going to think of me? Like, my first instinct is, oh God, I'm being a nuisance. Oh God, I'm being embarrassing. Those are the things that I think of first of all. Luckily, I was texting this other woman, and I was like, this is what's happening. She was so sympathetic. She gave me this was the first time we met her, because that's what you do. You just go on jobs and you meet strangers and you work with them. She gave me the hugest hug, and then the pain had passed, luckily, and I got through it. But like, I'm about to say something ludicrous right now. I'm really lucky that my pain comes for a short time and then leaves. And while it's there, it's excruciating and I can't move, but it leaves and it's not there for like other days. Ooh, can feel the tears coming in my eyes. Other people that menstruate could have this pain for so much longer. And I don't know how. Like, me getting through my day knows that I'll have the pain max 6 hours. Max. And that's me knowing, it's gonna end. I need to fall asleep, wake up, and it'll be gone. And if I didn't have that like light at the end of the tunnel, I've got no idea how I would get through it. So, and this is like, I remember when someone that wasn't like currently menstruating, or I guess maybe they're I don't really know the technical term. They basically weren't having a period, but they were someone that had experienced them in the past, and they said it's ridiculous that not me, but like one's bodies should go through something traumatic and it kind of just be brushed off and not talk about. And I was like, you're so right. And that's when I started looking at it differently. I was like, do you know what? This is an incredibly traumatic experience for you to be suddenly in intense pain, but also the fact that it's coming each month, but you can't always pinpoint the day, so you can't take, what's the opposite of retrospective, like preparatory painkillers, but you don't know when it's going to hit. You don't want to waste the painkillers, all right? So but you know that it's coming soon. So along with all the hormone shifts and changes, like very soon, this incredibly painful and traumatic experience, like you're literally bleeding, and so much is going on, and it's kind of expected that you just get on with it and go to work and carry on. Like, so today I woke up, I think I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I woke up, I was feeling a bit confused, and I was going to go to South Street Kids because they've got a show coming up, and I wasn't like a booked facilitator. I'd done my session, but I said I'll volunteer, like I'll just come along to see, you know, the rehearsals for the show, because they're rehearsing a dance. So I was like, I'll come along, and like, you know, just be there, blah blah blah. And so I was messaging Kristen in the morning, and I was like, should we walk in together? And then I was like, oh, I think my period's coming, but I wasn't sure because I was still in that confused state where I don't know what's going on. And I was like, well, Chris was like, oh, are you sure you're gonna be able to come? And I was like, well, do you know what, like, you know, Joe can always drop me in, blah blah blah. So do you know what I'm saying, where I'm confused? Because you and I both know I've just expressed to you my entire period pain history. I know the pain I'm going to get in, but confused me was like, oh, you know, if I don't feel well enough to walk or cycle, Joe can just drive me in, not even thinking about the fact that I wouldn't be able to be there, like, or stand up or walk. So, and we didn't have any juice. All we had is water. And I can't take, like, I will take pills to make myself to be like, I think you're going to bleed soon, I think you're going to be in pain, so take a pill. But if I don't have juice and I don't have like the right liquid for me to take the pill, can't do it. I can't, like, it makes me feel ill thinking about taking a tablet with water. Honestly, anyone who can do that, like, I'm so impressed by you. I can't do it. So anyway, I leave, and I say to Joe, just be on standby in case I call you from the side of the road and need to come. Oh, he's saying he was on standby in case he needs to come and get me. And so I start being in pain.
I'm the king of standby.
Oh, he didn't even come and get me because I took the car park key away. So I get to Eastern Angles and I get off my bike and I'm like, well, actually, that was quite a painful bike ride, but you know, period's coming. Or no, period was there. I knew it was there by this point. And like, you're sat on a saddle, so you know, it was a little bit uncomfortable. And I walk in and there's just all the facilitators just sat there, and I was just blinking so much. I was just kind of staring at them and I didn't say anything. They were like, hi, and I just didn't say anything and like put my bags down. Then I went to the bathroom and cried for about 10 minutes. Then I went into the offices and Jess was there, and I kind of like a zombie walked up to her and was like, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, can I stay in here, please? And she was like, yeah. And so I sat in one of the office chairs for a while, and she was like super worried, like, can I get you anything? Can I get you a mint tea? And in my head I was thinking, yeah, that would probably be actually good, but also I don't know if I can have it right now. Like my body might reject it. So I was just like, no, I'm fine. Went in to the session. It was really loud, loads of kids, and I was so embarrassed that they were gonna see me like white as a sheet, crying, shaking. So like I had like the gritted teeth smile on. Like all my friends were practitioners there, so they were like, hi, hi, and I was like, hee, like gritted teeth smile, watched their beautiful dance. And then went out the room, and I was like in different yoga positions trying to ease some of the pain. Then I heard all the children about to come out into the offices, so I like walked and hid under a desk because I didn't want the children to see me crying and shaking in pain because I was embarrassed. Like, isn't this so wild? I was going through such an intense, horrible moment, and I was so embarrassed for it to be seen that I had to like hide it. Anyway, I texted my mum saying, "Can you come and get me?" Because Joe couldn't get the car out because I had the car park key for the bike. And mum came. She brought juice because she knew. She brought pills, and we stayed in the car for a little while. Then she drove me home. I got into bed. I think I just left without saying goodbye to everyone. Someone asked me, "Rosie, are you all right?" I carried on walking, popped my thumb in the air, and just carried on walking. And I said nothing, and I felt so rude, but I just couldn't say anything. And yeah, but everyone was really nice because my mum went in to get me some water while I was still in the car. And she was speaking to different people who were really nice. And her cat was there. Mum spoke to her. So I was just, isn't this awful that we have to go through this? Like, this is terrible. This is so terrible. And the whole time it's happening, I'm angry that it's happening to me. I'm so livid that it's happening. And I guess the other layer that I haven't said is because I got totally screwed over with my 9-month period and like loads of period problems when I was younger. I'm just being forced every contraception under the sun. I'm too scared to go to the doctor. I'm scared, like, I should go to the doctor for loads of things going on in my life. I should go for an autism diagnosis, I should go for an ADHD diagnosis, and I should go for this incredibly traumatic pain. Like, I think I've been reading up, I don't think this is normal, but I think enough people go through this pain that it's normalized, and enough people in the medical industry are not educated enough on this. Hope you don't mind me saying, but I believe it's true. Also, the intersection with ethnicity. As a brown woman, I do not feel safe going into a doctor's office and advocating for myself on why my symptoms should be taken seriously, so I just don't go. I had a smear earlier this year, and I said, shall I come back in to speak about my periods? And she was like, yes, yeah, book an appointment. And I went to the desk, and they had phone call appointments for that day, and that's it. You can't book an appointment for any other day. You know, like, please, yeah, bless the NHS, it's free. But it's logistically a little challenging. And I said, well, I'm going swimming literally right now. And they said, don't worry, they'll ring you late morning. I was in and out the pool by 10:30, and they'd already rung me, and I missed the call. I tried to call back, and now I've lost my gumption. I've lost my energy. I can't go. I can't do it again. I'm too scared of having to advocate for myself. And yeah, but I'm wondering what the reaction from people listening to this is going to be. Is going to be like, either totally I relate, or Rosie, you should go to the doctors and get help. Don't care what you say, Rosie, go to the doctor. So let me know. Are you team, yeah, I empathise with you, or team, I empathise with you, but go to the doctors? And I think a lived experience slash also gendered, I think gender will play a part in people's response to this. But yeah, that's about it. I just basically just wanted to share my experience, and I hope it can be relatable to some people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm in winter, so I'm feeling a bit sad, a bit sorry for myself. Joe's a bit poorly as well. I think he got chest infection. So yeah, although I'm not in the intense pain anymore, so for me that's like tick, period, completed it. My hormones haven't shifted. I'm still like what my pops would call, my granddad would call mimbly. Like I'm still like sensitive and sad and like could break in. Joe did something earlier and I started crying. I don't know what it was. It would be something like, do you want to watch this on the telly? No, I don't. Why on earth would you think I would want to watch that? And, but luckily Joe was the most understanding and empathetic person ever. Like we just work well together. He gets me, I get him. So that's joyful. And yeah, everyone who was at South Street Kids and Eastern Angles today was just so lovely. And my mum, of course, for just stopping whatever she was about to make herself a cup of tea, dropped everything, brought me juice and tablets and picked me up and took me to my bed. It's not even like I lived with her and she picked me up and took me home. Like she left her house and took me to my house because that's where I needed to be. And yeah, just love you, Mum. Love you so much. Love you so much. And yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare this morning. Not a nightmare. I shouldn't be mean to myself, but sometimes I feel like when you're in that intense pain, I feel like a drunk person when you've got like a liability friend and they're just so drunk and they can't do anything. Like that's how I feel like when I'm wandering around in this state of zombie pain. But yeah, this has inspired me. Hold me to this. I'm going to, in each podcast episode, I'm just going to, either at the beginning or the end, say where I am with my menstrual cycle, whether it's winter, what's next, spring, summer, or autumn. Just because I think it's cool to be more open about these things, because they're not always super open. So I'm going to try and, maybe not necessarily in this podcast, but try making a little bit more period content, a little bit more menstrual cycle content, to what's the word, be relatable to people that menstruate and to educate people that don't menstruate, because it's still such a taboo thing. So yeah. Oh, someone made a really cool video. Days. I'll mention it in the. Oh man, I went on Instagram and it ended. There's a blah, blah, blah. There's an Instagram account. I think it's called Vibe with Days. But I'll double check that. And she just made a really cool reel about cycles and how you can monitor, how you can work with exercise within your cycle. So like I was reading out the article earlier, like doing like more gentle exercise in winter and spring, and going a bit heavier in summer. Maybe I've said that wrong, but yeah, do you know what I mean? That was a really good video, so I'll see if I can link that down below, and I'll link Macy's book, I'll link other menstrual period content creators that I like, and just let me know, just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, and if you want to share your experiences, my comment section, but also my DMs are super open to that. One thing I was gonna say, just to rewind, shout out, after I'd released 2 episodes, my cousin Janine Johnson, who is amazing, and we've also had quite in-depth conversations about menstruation, but also fibroids, being black and brown women. That's something I won't go into now, but that's something. I'm related to that. She listened to my first episode and she sent me the most gorgeous voice note in response, and it was beautiful. I was so happy because, like I think I said, like it feels like I'm having a conversation, and I'm just waiting for people to respond, whether that's in comment form or in voice note form. And she also had the most amazing idea. that I could invite people to share some voice notes within. Wait, I'm not saying it right. I could invite people to share some comments or thoughts or questions based on an episode in voice note form, and I could use a little snippet of it in a future episode. So if you'd be interested in sharing some of your experiences or thoughts or questions based on this episode or any episode, but this is the first one, to this one's to do with like a menstrual cycle. If you want to share and you're happy for it to appear in a future episode, then by George, I would love it so much. Really making it feel like a little two-way conversation. But yeah, God, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Because I've been talking for ages. But I love you all a bunch. And Joe said the other day, he was like, I make my outros to videos really emotional, and he's just really straight to the point. But I'm in winter. I've got loads of emotions going on. Also, because I can't leave this voice note without saying one thing. I always call it a voice note, not an episode. Can we just, God, this is on such a tangent, but like, when women or oh my God, my brain, people who've been socialized as girls and females get called emotional if they're like crying. But when like men or people that have been socialized as guys get super 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 angry, and they never get called emotional. Never, never. And what is anger not an emotion? I saw a Facebook meme about it because I'm a boomer. I saw a Facebook meme about it like a while ago, and again that changed my life. I was like, all these men calling us emotional and acting like they don't have emotions. What? Wild, absolutely wild. Or hormones. They're so hormonal. What the hell? Everyone's hormonal. We've all got hormones. Get with the program. So yeah, that's the thought I'll leave you with. Okay, gotta go now. Bye.